Hey everybody, it's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Gramercy Theater, and today we are here with Nonpoint. Thank
Elias,
you so much
yes.
for your time.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
yeah. It's
Again.
so great to. Oh, is it X or 10, the new record?
It is both. It's basically both. It's Roman numeral 10. It's our 10th record, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
Properly named.
Yeah, right. It's open to interpretation that way.
Yes,
It's
yes,
awesome.
yes. It gets a conversation stuff.
Yeah, and it's Roman numeral friendly. Some people like myself can't read Roman numerals.
Yes.
for
Shout out
shit.
to the Romans.
Exactly. But being that it is the 10th record for Nonpoint, and congratulations for
Thank you.
making it that far.
Thank you.
Was there like a preconceived idea, like this is the 10th record, we have to do something different with this, or was it more or less just kind of doing what Nonpoint has always did?
It was doing what Nonpoint does, but we wanted to go from song to song on this record more than anything. We wanted each song to have a very defined identity that was not similar to anything else on the record. We wanted people to, be able to look at everything that we can do as a band, musically, aggressively, melodically, and I think we accomplished that.
You definitely did. Like I would say, like the first couple of songs on the record are very aggressive, have a real hardcore grit to it. But then you get to a song like "Feel the Way I Feel," my personal favorite song on the record, which I hope you play tonight.
That's funny. Yeah, Ralph Sutton at SDR said the same thing. It's favorite song.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, did you have to take a new approach depending on how aggressive the song is as a vocalist?
No. I let the songs kind of dictate what was needed. When the guys send me music, I play it loud in a room or on my headphones, close my eyes, kind of, see what the song feels like. And then I try to do something that feels good and natural, but also too is unexpected, with the music. A lot of times I sing melodic over heavy, melodic over melodic. It really doesn't matter. Sometimes I sing heavy over melodic, like in Milestones. We like to run the gambit with our music and, let the songs dictate where they want to go.
It's cool. It seems like you have both a preconceived idea, but you also let things happen organically at the same time.
Yeah. I want to, do the craft side of it, but at the same time too, I want to enjoy the magical, fun side of songwriting and creating music, reaching out into nothing and pulling out something, that, people then make connections to, and, it defines moments in people's lives. The other day I heard a song that literally took me back to when I was like 8 years old. So, I have to understand that that's what I'm doing, and that's the effect that I'm having on people. So, there is, some sort of science to it.
Definitely. Now, being a vocalist, and I love asking vocalists this, do you have to hear music in order to come up with a lyrical concept, or does sometimes a concept ever determine the outcome of the music?
I like it to happen that way, because then, the music, it's really about letting the guys in the band do what they love to do, and to do something that I know confidently that they're proficient at executing because they wrote it. If I chime in on music, it's really because I hear something in a position that, maybe just 4 bars that I'm like, man, if I had 16 bars of this going, this song could be this. So I edit it that way. I give the guys an example of what I mean. And if everybody's like, whoa, we love this, then I know that, my interjection to what they're actually physically playing and what they decided in the beginning was what they were going to be playing for 4 bars only, now turns into 16 bars. They're also too allowing me the freedom to see some magic in a song and then take it somewhere that they didn't even know it can go.
Definitely. And, this kind of led me into my next question, because Nonpoint, as I mentioned before, with just this record alone, you have very heavy songs, but you have very melodic songs. It almost seems like you're a band that really is not afraid to experiment, right?
No. Like I said, the songs are going to do what they're going to feel like doing. Even though we're playing with music, it kind of has its own consciousness and, dictates where it wants to be. And if you try to fight it, if you try to sing something over top of it that really doesn't belong, everyone knows it in the room. And that's the song speaking out to you. And, you got to be listening.
Yeah. Now, being a vocalist, being that you have lyrics that really touch a lot of fans' hearts, when I saw you at that Disturbed show, people were just absolutely going nuts. And what I was curious is if a fan comes up to you and tells you their interpretation of the song, even if it has nothing to do with what you were feeling, do you have like a new perspective over the song than when you were writing it?
Yeah, it's always a learning process when you're talking to the fans. They feed you information that, you can either, take and forget about later, or, you can bank it and try to make yourself better. So, I'm my ears are also open during those moments as well. So, when a fan comes up to you and tells you that a song moved them, or this is what they felt like the song was about, it means that I'm doing my job, because I'm allowing myself to stay on a subject or a mindset in a song that, people can connect with and get many meanings out of, because it has a general, blanket meaning over top of it.
Which is awesome, and it's
Thanks.
cool. Now, Nonpoint has toured with a variety of different bands, like, as I mentioned, with Disturbed, but then you just did your last tour with the Butcher Babies, which I saw both in Long Island and Los Angeles.
Awesome.
Yeah, and, you're now doing this tour with He Is Legend, which is very different. Do you, kind of like two questions in one, but do you notice maybe a different reaction to your music depending on what types of tours you're on, and maybe, kind of adjust your set list if, you put the heavier songs on your set list if you're touring with a heavier band?
Well, when we're headlining, we choose our set.
Yeah.
We're in the position where we have to represent 10 records. So, we got a great library to choose from. So we want to make the shows different. We want to give people, their favorites, but there's many favorites that we can dig in and grab and build a set list. When it comes to opening for bands like Disturbed, we know the fans that we're in front of, and we're there to put on a great show. So, it would behoove us to put together a set from our library, which is still our library at the end of the day, and put together something that's curated specifically for that crowd. Because I'm an entertainer. I'm up there to pull heartstrings and to get people moving in the pit and get people jumping and singing along. So, that's in my mind when we're putting together a set list.
Yeah, it's cool, and you definitely have songs. I could almost see you. Maybe I'm going a little over the top, but you could almost do a tour with Kill Switch Engage, or even.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, or hell, you guys are from Florida, so Morbid Angel, even maybe.
Yeah. We have songs that would definitely, keep their pace with anybody that we would play with. Metallica.
You heard it here.
We're ready.
Definitely. You got to make it out. They brought out Gojira.
Yeah,
so.
I know, man. Come on. Hook it up.
Now, being a band, how different of an experience is it when you're playing these songs in the studio or in a practice space or anything like that? Obviously, the vibe is different playing it live,
right.
Because you're playing in front of an audience. There's mosh pitting and crazy, and God knows how hot it is upstage sometimes. So when you're performing a song live, is it a different attachment to the music versus playing it in a studio or a practice space?
Yeah, definitely. When you're on stage, you're trying to, put on that show, but you're also trying to get lost in it, so that way you can, put yourself on display, because that's really what you're there to do. And in order to do that, you have to pretend that nobody's there. Sometimes, at least I do. That's the direction that we kind of try to take with the actual performance of the song when it comes to those types of songs. And then there's songs that, we ask our audience to engage us during the song, so it's a seesaw event.
Yeah, which is cool. And one final question I wanted to ask you is coming from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right? At the time that you guys started, death metal was freaking huge, and which is different. And while you guys maybe have some of that influence there, definitely like differences as well.
Yeah.
Being a band from Florida, was there like maybe a scene in Florida that you guys kind of networked in and cut your teeth in, or were you a band that kind of had to go outside your own state in order to get Nonpoint's name out there?
No. It was definitely the South Florida scene at the time, which was sadly a real flash in the pan situation. EDM has taken over absolutely in South Florida, so it's hard to keep rock clubs open or keep venues open that are willing to have just rock acts. So there's not a lot of community when it comes to that down there. But at the time, it was, there was definitely like, a strong four at all times for what felt like 5-6 years, where the scene thrived. And a couple of the bands are actually getting together in South Florida to do a kind of reunion thing right now. This band called the Grooveniks and another band called I forget the name of the band, but they're getting together to do something old school, and to kind of like hopefully bring that spark back to South Florida.
Definitely. And there was actually one more question I want to ask you, if that's cool. Being that this is your 10th record, obviously a band always evolves so much from their first. Do you look back at your earlier discography and be like, wow, we evolved so much, we're so much better now? Or do you look at it like with great memories and still hold that sentimentally?
I feel good about where we are right now. So, and at the same time too, I definitely don't want to shit on our past.
Yeah.
Every single pitch and yaw and sway of this entire career has been based on decisions, good times, hard times. So when I look at our past, musically, I'm really excited about where we are right now. We had some great records, we had some not so great records, and right now we're really living in this moment right now, because we're proud of this one. We worked hard at it. It has a lot of layers. It shows every side of our band. We have BC and Rashid and Adam there with us now, and it's really turning into its own beast, coming from the Poison Red to now going into 10. So we're excited about where the future is going. So I'm cool with not talking about the past.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. Just before we go, obviously you've been touring like crazy this all of 2018 and 2017. Just it's a brand new record cycle. What could we be expecting from the Nonpoint Army?
We're doing a support tour in November, December. We're hitting Shiprocked and probably doing a couple shows around there. The summer is still up for discussion. We're talking about going possibly overseas and talking about some bands that we're actually getting hooked up here this year with to go overseas with. So we'll see where it goes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Everybody, we are here with Nonpoint. Pick up X or 10, depending on how you look at it. It is absolutely awesome. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.